Right. Good evening, everybody. And first off, saw a couple of likes on some of these videos. Thanks a lot. And I didn't look to see who subscribed yet, but somehow I got one. Hey, thanks, man. I'm trying. It's a small two-bit operation right now, but I'm trying. First off, for those wondering, you can see next to me or behind me. Um, that's a cheap uh, reprint of the Horror of Dracula or Dracula 1958, Christopher Lee, except it's in the French titles, but whatever. I never took it out and framed it, and I've got a couple of high quality prints and posters over the years in the basement that I just never got around to hanging up. My dog's over there looking at me like, what the hell are you doing, you idiot? So, enough said. So lately I've been watching a couple of Japanese films, quite a few. That wasn't the plan. I mean, mostly I've just been picking out whatever's from my underwatched collection or not seen collection, and hopefully it doesn't have a commentary track or two for the whole feature, because I'm just at that stage where I'm like, okay, I'm always a completist, like I said. So you want to watch the film and then watch it again, but watch it with the commentary track to get all the knowledge and walk around as a thesaurus that can bring it up 10, 20 years from now as an anecdote or wherever you feel like. And what the trends I'm noticing is everything I happen to be picking out is seemingly relevant to a lot of things that are on my own perspective and just where we seem to be at dealing with a lot of conflicts and issues. And a lot of these films are conflicts in the sense of with religion and principles, senses of honor and duty, also fairy tales and other powers of just more natural things like the world. And some of it has to do also with struggling with the self, who you are, what's your place in the world, or you do a lot of things but you're not getting anywhere, you're not respected, and lastly, you just have to stand up for yourself too sometimes. And first thing I picked was Friday night, and I don't know what on earth made me go with it, but got Kurosawa's Cure from 1997. Little creepy, menacing, dread-filling horror movie from the 90s that kind of helped reinvent reinvent and launch the pop culture J horror phenomenon of that time. For everyone of my age or older knows exactly what I'm talking about. In fact, Kiyoshi Kurosawa here would go on to do Pulse amongst his other works too, and often with the same lead actor, Koji Yakusho. So this is a little bit of mixture of your hard-boiled detective story, but with some some phantasmagorical structures and setups, and there's some mesmerizing involved or two. It's different for its time. It's not totally in the real world the whole point. There are bits and pieces where you're wondering it's framed in a dream sequence of something of that nature, and you get questions raised about the morality and the meaning behind the killer in question. Is he a savior? Is he some holy or unholy missionary? What's the deal? Where do we stand on that? And what's the bigger structure of who we are and what we do? As my phone yet again goes off during one of these videos. But that was the first one. May I suggest watching that 2 or 3 times, because it really sinks in the more time you spend with it. It gets more on your mind. So that was the first one. The second one, I've had a friend got me this a couple of years ago for my birthday. And as usual, my usual behavior, I just put it on the damn shelf and didn't open it or watch it. This is the Ballad of Narayama from the legendary Keisuke Kinoshita, 1958 version. This was remade about 25, 26 years later, and it won the Palme d'Or from Cannes and a few other things. And that's got a lot more direct, scene violence and struggles. One was made in the 50s, and this was made to be more of a traditional, not quite total kabuki aspect, but you have some beautiful color cinematography, and then they'll do essential basic things like now it's nighttime or it's supposed to be some season later, so you'll see a curtain or a banner drop behind them, and it's really effective for something seemingly not made on the largest budget. And it has to deal with the idea of this distant town or village in a valley, and everyone's poor with no food. And you have to, when the elders reach the age of 70 or 71, depending, they have to voluntarily go on the journey to Narayama. So it might sound familiar for those of you who like Logan's Run or have wondered where the idea of, selectively turning yourself in or terminating yourself came from. At 30 or 32, it's been a long time since I saw that film, but it made me look and go, oh, okay, there's that basis in reality of responsibilities to not only your family, but also to your gods, your village, the culture, and the society around you. And you watch this woman played by Kinuyo Tanaka. She was actually the second woman in Japanese film history to direct a film, and she's got like 300 credits to her name. She's supposed to be a 70-year-old woman, but she's actually not even 50, and her makeup and how she walks with a gait and a limp is perfect. You forget for a minute with her. And she'd mostly go on to be known through her films with Kenji Mizoguchi. More on him in a second. But that one, you watch her having to make choices and have pride and not be made fun of or thought of as prideful or shameful. And it raises the question of what's your duty to responsibility and versus the younger son who desperately cares for her and needs her around. So enough said on that. Enough said. But beautiful movie. If you want to watch a more gritty version, go for the 83, 84 one, of course. But I think for what this is, beautiful. Simple, to the point. How long is this? 98 minutes. Easily digestible. And most recently, from 1979, Demon Pond. Love that artwork. Masahiro Shinoda. He was something of his own singular creative force. He didn't mind, taking chances and making up different genre styles and pictures and going nuts with more of the illustrations, the artwork for the booklet here. These Criterions, some of these books used to be a lot larger, but the other ones, 5-6 pages, not too bad to go through. But again, we're into the land of fairy tales, more educational enlightenment, The play itself was from 1913 by Kyoto Izumi, and Shinoda did his best to update it because it was a successful play at that point in time again, and he wanted to do his best to bring old school kabuki back as a time when there was interest in it, but kabuki wasn't totally the main element. With this film, this is this is like off the rails kabuki brought to the big screen. Um, who's this? It's got the Tomasaburo Bando was a then A-list actor, theater actor, known for the Anagato performances. That's where think of the page boys in Shakespeare's time. It's man dressing up in the traditional garbs, the white face paint, the makeup to appear as you as a woman. And they did a very good job hiding the fact, if you didn't look carefully, to realize it's not a woman. And not saying anything weird. I'm just saying they do a very effective job because he's playing dual roles of Yuri, who you're not sure is she otherworldly or not, and there's Yuki, who's the Yuki is the dragon princess of the Demon Pond, or more like the Demon Lake, Borderline River. And what's cool is part of the deal is someone has to ring this old giant bell 3 times a day. And if they don't ring the bell 3 times a day at the right times, the dragon princess of the Demon Pond will escape from the pond, and it'll bring massive floods and destruction to the area. And I'm not going to give it away. Is there going to be a payoff? I don't know. That's you'll find out. I mean, the whole film's teasing whether or not it's going to happen. But it does mind into, because it was written in 1913, at least this version, and then readapted. It seems forward-thinking for the time where you have militant nationalism coming through, and as most people know, going through history, pre-World War One, yeah, that's exactly what happens. And here we see it again, where this is very much after World War II, but there was obviously occupational forces and Japan picking itself up, but trying to be mindful of censors and how things looked. And borderline authoritarianism, possibly at the lower levels. So there's always this, even this film from 1979, there's the militant, the politicians who come in with money and power and direct people what to do, but then when pushed to the corner and faced with death, they back the fuck out. Or it's the class structure where you see the politician trying to save himself and keep other people down as he tries to get away at the end. All these different conscious things swirl into the storyline. And of course, love, respect, doing what's right, and for the common good as well. All these different little things playing out here. Why am I getting a tisk? I'm getting dry mouth. Should edit this out, but no, I'd rather not. Just keep it as is. There's a nice little synth score whenever they pop up. One thing I will let you know about halfway through this, if you didn't sure this was going to be a kabuki thing, it goes just, it flies the freak flag about the 59-minute mark when they bring out the, what was that, the yokai? It's a type of ethereal spirits that take the form of half human and half what else. So if you've ever sat through any performance of Cats, you'll have an idea what's coming. But you'll get one actor done up like half crab, and he's got this big crab claw, and there's the one dude supposed to be a catfish, and he's got the, I can't think of what the term is right now off the top of my head, but you get the picture. The next thing you know, there's anthropomorphic deer heads and stuff like that. It's a trip. I think I want to watch this again real soon. Actually, this was just a little too over 2 hours, but it's you take a little bit of a ride with this because you're thinking, oh, this is being a little slow right now. Boom! It just goes way off into right field all of a sudden, and you might have to suspend belief a little bit, but it's so well done. The color scheme, the cinematography, the effects. One of the people working on the effects here are going to make, well, he'd been in a whole bunch of sci-fi movies and stuff in the 60s and the 70s, so it's really well done, regardless. And I think you'll actually enjoy it. So, I mentioned Mizoguchi before, and I've had this sealed for quite a while. I picked it up a couple years ago during a Barnes & Noble, I want to say it was either Black Friday or the July 4th Criterion half-off deal. Excuse me. And I'm amazed because it's Mizoguchi, Sancho the Bailiff, and by all accounts, for everything I've ever read and heard, 1954, this is an incredible legacy picture at this point. And here's one where it's a feudal lord not wanting to follow orders, and off he goes. There's consequences for him and his family. And again, I've somehow, in the 18 years I've been aware of this film, I've never seen it once. I know. Ridiculous. So I think this will be the next thing I watch. But before I go to that, there's another movie that was open. I saw once 2 years ago, and it's seared in my brain. I don't have to watch it again right now, but I just finished reading the little booklet and everything. One of my favorite actors of the period is Tatsuya Nakadai, and not only did he work, was he like the third or fourth most common actor with Kurosawa, he's big with Kobayashi as well. And this is one of his early ones, as a matter of fact, 1962. It's again the danger of authoritarian or totalitarian feudalism and how narrow-minded it is, crimes against individuals and society. And it's, again, single man trying to right a wrong and risking it all for it. That's all I'm going to say about that one. That said, so I'm probably going to watch Hara-kiri. I'm probably going to watch it again. I shouldn't, but I just know it's that damn good. I might as well. And then I'll go to Sancho the Bailiff. But at some point, I have to move on to another Kobayashi film. Actually, these were 3 films with Nakadai right before Hara-kiri. He shot it over 4 years. It's called The Human Condition. Essentially a World War II set trilogy. Think in a different style of it. Picture Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings trilogy. No, this isn't fairy tale. This isn't, or a simple mirror of society and what to do, good and evil. This is more of facing militaristic evils in human nature. And the reason I say Lord of the Rings is because this is 3 films topping out around 10 hours. So So I've put this off for like a year and a half. Um, just with how things have been going lately, not only myself, but just in our nation alone, how we treat each other. It seems that this is more of the ways we could be heading and things we could probably change and have to have hope for to get right one day. One day. It probably won't be now, but you know, at some point. So maybe 6-5 novel. So maybe me being out of work right now and it being cold out gives me time to sit down properly with these and give them the chance they deserve, because it's the human condition is very well talked about in the uh, film bluff and not so much the film snob department, but it's just a groundbreaking series for its time, 59 to 61. And that's just where thematically my mind seems to be at, besides the Eyes Wide Shut and Damned video I'm going to be making soon here. I got so many pages of that written out. But we'll see what happens. Anyways, it's almost 9:30 over by me. So I don't know why I gave that away. But it doesn't matter, whatever. So again, 22 minutes in. Thanks for watching. Sorry for rambling so much and just losing track of my thoughts. I'm going to really have to start keeping little bullet point notes so I avoid going off into the weeds like this. Half the movies I just talked about today have stories about going through the weeds and the woods and traveling to the other side of things. Just so it fits in perfectly, I suppose. That said, back later, maybe there's a 90s death metal, lost death metal album on my turntable to get to. And, well, again, drop a comment, hit like, especially if you made it this far. Jesus Christ. Get yourself a nice, refreshing beverage afterwards. Go for a stroll. And till next time. See you later, friends.